today I am discussing about projectile motion. Okay. So then first of all we see what is projectile motion. Okay. Projectile. Suppose if we project a particle at an angle theta from the surface of Earth. Suppose this is Earth surface and we project a particle at an angle theta from this surface. Such type of. Suppose this is particle. Okay. If we project particle, then the motion of the particle will be such type. Parabolic path. Okay. If we throw this particle at an angle alpha and with initial velocity u, okay, then in the initial condition it has two components. One in horizontal direction, it will be u cos alpha, and other will be in vertical direction, it will be u sin alpha. Due to horizontal component of the projectile, particle moves in the horizontal direction and it covers a distance along horizontal distance. And due to vertical component u sin alpha, the movement of particle is in the direction of vertical direction. And due to this, due to combined effect of these two components, particle moves on a parabolic path. If we see in the horizontal direction, the horizontal component of the projectile is always constant because there is no force against or supporting it. So the horizontal component always will be constant up to. But in case of vertical components, it will be always changing due to acceleration due to gravity g. G acts towards the earth. So when particle was going up, the velocity of the projectile continuously be decreasing due to g acting in opposite direction. Suppose we take this point, suppose this point, here will be u cos alpha and it will be always constant. At this point u sin alpha. Okay, here angle will be decreased, so due to decreasing of angle u sin alpha will be decreased, and continuously u cos alpha will be constant while u sin alpha will be decreasing. If we go up to maximum height, this point, horizontal component is always constant and it is u cos alpha, but at this point vertical component becomes 0. U sin alpha is equal to u sin alpha is equal to 0. After then u sin alpha remains constant while the direction of u sin alpha becomes just opposite towards the ground, and at this point same old point u cos alpha and u sin alpha, such type of motion. Okay. In this situation we find many types of terms. Like first we find time of flight. Time of flight is the time taken by the projectile from going initial point to final point. Total time taken by the projectile in going from initial point to final point. Okay. Then second is maximum height. Maximum height is maximum vertical distance covered by the projectile in the vertical direction. Suppose here vertical direction in vertical distance from Earth's surface is maximum, so it is called maximum height. Okay, it is denoted by then. And the last thing is range. Range is the horizontal distance covered by the projectile in the horizontal direction. Okay, these three terms are main terms. We will find one by one all the three. So we find first of all time of flight. Before finding time of flight, we find the time taken by the projectile in going initial point to maximum height. Okay, we find time of flight. Time of flight, it is time taken by projectile in going initial point two final points. Okay. Before finding time of flight, we find the time taken by the projectile in going up to maximum height. To find this time, we will consider the motion of particle in the y direction. So we see, if we consider in y direction, then we put the formula Vy barabar uy plus ay into t. From equation of motion, apply this equation, first equation. If we see Vy, यानी कि Vy final velocity in y direction is always 0. At height point, vertical component becomes 0, and initial in y direction is u sin alpha. Okay, and acceleration in y direction is minus g. Okay, here we see u sin alpha minus gt. Okay, if we side change, gt is equal to u sin alpha, t is equal to u sin alpha divided by g. It is the time taken by the projectile in going from initial point to up to maximum hold. And if we find time of flight, it will be double of its, because particle takes here sometimes and same times going from here to here. So then time of flight will be t is equal to 2t, this t. So then t will be 2u sin alpha divided by g. This will be time of flight. That is time taken by the projectile in going from initial point to final point. Okay? It is total time. And this is the time taken by the projectile in going from initial point to maximum height. Okay? Now we find maximum height. Okay? Maximum height is also distance covered in vertical distance. So again we consider second equation of motion, and second equation of motion, or we consider in y direction, then it will be Vy square is equal to uy square plus 2ah. Okay, velocity in y direction will be 0. So and it will be uy will be sin alpha plus 2 minus g into g. If you consider capital H, 2g. Then from here we see 0 is equal to u square sin square alpha minus 2gh. Okay, again we side change, 2gh is equal to u square sin square alpha, then h is equal to u square sin square alpha divided by 2g. This is the maximum height attained by the projectile. Maximum height attained by the projectile. Okay. Then we find first of all time of flight. Then we find now maximum height. Now we find range. Okay. Since range is distance covered in horizontal direction, so we consider the range by the horizontal component. The range will be component along y direction, x direction, the horizontal direction, multiplied by time of flight t. Then it will be r is equal to u cos alpha into t. Here we find r is equal to u cos alpha, and we put value of t. It will be 2u sin alpha divided by g. Okay, it will be u square 2 sin alpha cos alpha divided by g. if we take this is a mathematical formula of sine 2 alpha. So u square into sine 2 alpha divided by g. Then it will be 2 u square sine 2 alpha divided by it will be the range. Then range means horizontal direction covered by the